right, Brian, what's happening? Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Welcome back to Cryptic Creatures.
Cryptic Creatures.
That's right.
Episode number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Um,
What's new, Brian? What's going on in your world?
Been a while since we talked, you know?
Been a little bit, yeah. A little bit. Getting these episodes out for our listeners to check out and hopefully get a hold of us. Hopefully by the time this one's released, maybe we hear something from somebody from episode 1. So we'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be good. Nothing new. Just, still studying the cryptozoology course and learning.
Right. Yep, I am about wrapping mine up there, so got a little bit of a free time, so working along pretty good.
All right.
Kind of excited about that. And I'm learning a lot too, so.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully,
that's good.
It was kind of a cool thing. I might go check out some more courses on there if anything has my interest.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Any deals going on?
They got a vampire course on there.
No, do they really? Hey, maybe we should take that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
I never thought about vampires, but
after the cryptozoology,
they may exist. There's some people that drink blood out there. I know that.
There are some of those, yeah.
So we're going to talk about some Sasquatch today, right?
That's right.
Some
because
Bigfoots.
You are heading out west.
I am heading
to the home of the Bigfoot.
I am. Going out for work. And, but I'm making a little bit of an adventure out of this. Work is in Eastern Oregon, and you and I work at the same place, so you know where I'm going. You've been there. Who are we kidding, right?
I have. That's right, I have.
And so you have those opportunities too, hopefully, coming up. But
hopefully.
I'm going to be in the Portland area, Brian, and I'm going to be in Washington, on the Washington side of the Columbia River.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be out there scoping some things out with Dave and on day 1. And then day 2, I was going to kind of travel along the Washington side, but I started doing some research on the BFRO. And there's been more sightings in this certain area of just outside of Troutdale, which is east of Portland just a little bit. In the southern area. Yeah, I picked up, there's like 3 different ones that kind of caught my eye, and they just kind of happened to be in the same area, which was kind of weird to me, because looking at it on a map, you wouldn't really think that, that's not where you would think. Your eyes would kind of keen toward, more the mountain range and stuff. But it's in a place of south of Troutdale. I'm trying to look for it on a map here as we talk.
Really?
Yeah. It's along the Sandy River. Gordon Creek Road runs along the Sandy River south of Corbett. Okay. It's just kind of a little spot. Yeah, if you look at this place, it's outside of Portland. Just maybe Google Sandy River, or maybe Google Oxbow Regional Park. Which is weird because we have an Oxbow Regional Park around here.
We do, yeah.
But the area around this park is kind of, you get the more green, the more dense look. Like there's, but it's not like super, super dark per se. It is, I guess. It is. There's some forestry along there. I was thinking about going more north and more east of that. Wow. There's a lot of trails, but
look at that park. Holy crap.
There's some dense stuff in there, and there's been 3 recorded sightings since I think one was actually in 1970. But I'm going to check that area out instead of the other 2 spots on Sunday, working my way east.
I would say this is a good spot. Wow, that's nice. Wow.
Yeah, I meant to tell you about that.
How dense that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you go on the BFRO, look under, what's the county? Multnomah County is the county, I think. And, there's been 7 reported sightings. 3 of them have been in that, where that river winds around and stuff. And you can see where the road twists around a little bit following the side of the river. And there's a couple spots there where I'm going to maybe just park and check things out. So,
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, man, I wish I was going with you this time.
me too. We'll definitely get another excursion planned here soon.
Yes.
Maybe in
spring is on the way.
Michigan or something, somewhere like that. So for sure. So talking about Bigfoot, I mean, where do you want to go? Where do you want to start with this thing? What are you thinking? What's on your mind here? I mean, let me say, these things have been recorded since, I mean, the Indian times have recorded these things, right?
Oh yeah, way back. Natives, yep.
This isn't something that started in 1962.
No.
Or 1967 or what have you.
No, they've been, since there have been people, they've been seeing them, living with them.
I was thinking about this today. I knew we were going to do this podcast, and I started doing a little bit of brainstorming, and I thought, maybe before, you read back in, if you read the Bible or you talk about history, America wasn't discovered until 1400s, something like that. So before then, mankind has been around for a long time and developed in the European, Middle Eastern, those, countries, Asia, all that.
Yep.
So America is like the newest founded civilization per se that I can think of as far as a country, and as big as we are, and as how much we've developed in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
You go back to Gigantopithecus and how they say it lived in Asia and and the land bridge, and it may have crossed. So what's to say that, they say it died out, but maybe it didn't die out. Maybe it crossed that land bridge. Maybe they lived in, what is now the United States of America, which was inhabited by natives or Indians or what have you back then, or maybe
Inuits,
nothing at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And since then have evolved into what Bigfoot is today, not exactly Gigantopithecus, but a version of it. Just like maybe, man has evolved from something, or maybe not, depends on what people believe. I'm not going to go down that road.
That's another show.
Yeah. Yeah, theory of evolution of Bigfoot. Right. But no, I mean, it's all tied together. But why couldn't that be? Why couldn't these things have survived and crossed the land bridge and been in this sector of the world until mankind, being, Christopher Columbus and that generation, or whatever you want to call it, came over and started tearing apart stuff. And the Indians too. I mean, you got to think back. Indians probably, maybe they hunted these things. Maybe they were afraid of them. You never know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we know they're afraid of them from reports from the elders, and tribes, some of the tribes.
Right. But look, it goes back to that far, right? It goes back to the times of the natives.
Hell, probably goes back farther. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
All we know is what's recorded on a stone wall, right?
That's right.
And there are recordings of...
And, but they didn't have the vocabulary to describe that kind of stuff back then. They didn't know what the hell they were saying.
Right. Right.
So
I guess what gets
to
me...
them, they were wild men or, something like that.
Right. I guess what gets me is, I made a comment, I believe, on our first episode about people have been told by science that a creature has existed without a body or necessarily proof, and they believe that. And one of the creatures in my head I was talking about was Gigantopithecus, which is a known large primate, 10 to 12 feet tall, orangutan looking in stature. And they found part of a jawbone of this creature in a cave, right, in China or Asia or somewhere.
Right.
And from that section of jawbone, which wasn't much, they've determined that this was a primate, and this primate was a Gigantopithecus, which was a huge 10-foot tall, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And people believe that and accept that, right?
Well, yeah, because they actually found a part of it.
A small part of it. I mean, how do we know it wasn't how do we know it wasn't a cow jawbone or something like that? How do we know? How do they know it was primate? I know that's scientific. That's not my world. DNA. Okay. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be a skeptic, but you got to throw those questions out there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that being said, I mean, the world says, okay, well, hey, we believe in Gigantopithecus. If Gigantopithecus lived and people accept that it lived, why are so many people against saying, well, there's no way there's a Bigfoot walking around, even though thousands of people have come forward and witnessed to seeing the same thing?
Right. And there's always going to be those people that say, oh, you just saw a bear or just shadows playing tricks on you because you were scared. You know, there's always going to be people like, unless they see it with their own eyes. But then there's people like us who do believe it's out there and are out to prove it, you know, either to ourselves or to everybody else.
Yeah. Talking about this and depending on what rabbit hole we go down, I have told you before, I think that there's government cover up to the existence.
100% there is. Yeah.
Yeah, to the existence of Bigfoot. And I think that why wouldn't the government say, hey, let's keep this a secret. We don't want to tell people about this because we want people to go out in the woods and enjoy themselves in the camping.
That reminds me. I wanted to sorry. There was the section I just finished was on the Kraken and sea monsters and all that stuff.
Right.
Sea serpents.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that in I don't remember the year. Wasn't that long ago, though. A Japanese trawler claimed to have caught a plesiosaur in their nets. And they were doing all the, testing and stuff on it. And the FBI came in and said, no, it's just the decomposing remains of a basking shark or some other big fish. And I'm like, the FBI? Really?
Yeah. That's funny you mentioned that. I saw that picture years ago and I was shocked.
Yeah.
And then when I read somewhere it was a basking shark, I'm like, oh,
there's no way. No way.
But it had a vertebrae and a neck and a head. Did you see the picture?
I did not see the picture.
Google that picture.
I'm going to do that right.
The name of the ship, the Fuji, whatever you called it. Did you say the name of the ship?
No, it was just a Japanese trawler. They didn't say a name.
It should give the name of it. It's a FUJ Fuji something. I don't know what it was, but maybe you can pick it out.
Oh yeah, here it is. It's called the Zuio Baru carcass.
Okay.
Was a corpse, most likely a basking shark, caught by the Japanese fishing trawler Zuio.
I thought it started
Maru.
with an F or something. Do you see the
Zuio
picture though?
Maru off the coast of New Zealand in 1977.
Do you see the picture?
No, there's still no picture. Oh, there it is. That ain't no fucking basking shark. There's no way. No way.
What's that look like to you?
That looks like a dinosaur.
Looks like a dead plesiosaur, doesn't it?
Yeah. That ain't no shark.
The
man.
FBI comes in.
Yeah, the FBI
to Japanese waters or Japanese fishing.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
The FBI.
Like our FBI has swooped in and probably snatched the carcass. And yeah, and they're the ones that determined it. They said the FBI determined that it was remains of a basking shark. I'm like, it's not. Yeah. Now I know it. They're full of shit because the FBI lies out their fucking ass.
Dude, if on this show, ladies and gentlemen listening out there, if we need to if we have to talk about this whole government cover up and this FBI thing, and we will probably get into that on some episodes to prove certainly to you guys that that's the reason why you're not finding corpses, etc.
Yep.
I've got a lot of stories where Bigfoot has been hit by semis or trucks.
I believe
or, other things have happened and accidents where, the military has shown up and said that whatever you thought you hit a bear. And if you talk about it or you say anything other than you hit a bear, then, we're going to make your life hell.
Well, that's what they did with aliens for the longest time.
Financially and however they can do it. So that's our little jaunt on the government cover up. But I do think there is.
We'll get into more of that as we go along because they have their hand in everything.
Absolutely. And another thing, here's my theory on Bigfoot. I think that Bigfoot is a highly intelligent creature. I think he's more intelligent than your average gorilla or ape.
Absolutely.
I think he's not as intelligent as man. I think the breakdown is, you know what? I don't think Bigfoot can make fire. That's the difference between Bigfoot and modern man, honestly. I don't think Bigfoot has the capability to create fire.
Right. Otherwise, we'd find him by now.
Yeah, maybe that's what's starting all these fire. Hey, maybe that's what's starting all these wilderness fires.
Oh, yeah. Bigfoot's trying to figure out how to start a campfire. Instead
of using those damn rocks to make the campfire ring, they're throwing them at people. Damn Bigfoot.
Damn Bigfoot.
Idiot.
But yeah, I believe they're very intelligent, and I believe they can understand us.
Apparently they have a language, or they can talk a language. I think they can be, well, shit, man. I mean, I've heard episodes on podcasts where they've repeated people's names or dogs' names to them. I was listening to one the other day where two guys were out hunting, and the guy left his cell phone. They were testing a deer blind. It was late at night, and as they were walking out there, the guy was talking about being paralleled, him and his brother being paralleled by something, and they could hear something grunting. And the one brother freaked out and ran back, so the brother followed him, and he's like, oh, shoot, I left my cell phone on my deer stand. So he had to go back and climb up the deer stand and get it. He said, I got up in the deer stand, and I could hear something. And I was like, David. And this is his brother's name. David, is that you? David. He goes, I thought my brother was messing with me. So then he climbed down the tree stand. And he started walking. He goes, I could hear something paralleling me again. And he goes, I was like, David, knock it off. And then he heard something in a real deep voice go, David. And he goes, it freaked me out because I knew that was not a person. So, I mean, I don't know. Apparently they can.
I'm telling you, they can understand what we're saying.
They can talk, or they can.
Now, whether or not they can talk is maybe mimic.
Right. I think the mimicking was what it was, but people have described these things as Neanderthal looking. They're a hybrid between man and ape, I think, but they're probably more an animal than they are man. But I really believe that. Yeah. I really believe that there's some human in them, human DNA. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's why I think some of those hairs they're finding, and they're saying, "Oh, those are human." I don't think so. They even said on that last documentary that we watched that they could go even deeper with the DNA, but it's more expensive and it takes longer. Mm-hmm. So they just stop. I mean, they could dig farther into that DNA string and find what we're looking for, but nobody can pay for it.
No, but yeah, the people who are interested can't pay for it.
Right.
The funding's not there.
Right.
I've heard a lot about samples being found and they're an unknown primate.
Yeah. Mostly human.
And talking about hair, yeah, mostly human. And talking about hair, one thing that I kind of thought about that was weird to me, that, if you look at pictures of, like, going back to Gigantopithecus or an orangutan, which that was kind of the animal that Gigantopithecus was, a large orangutan, they have very long hair on their arms. You know how it dangles down. And a lot of descriptions in episodes that I've listened to, a lot of people describe it had really long hair on its arms, and then the hair on the body was shorter.
Yeah.
That detail alone strikes something with me. So it's those kind of things that I listen to that key me into things and go, you know what? That's interesting. You know.
Yeah. Now I'm going to go upstairs tonight and watch that documentary again.
Oh yeah, Bigfoot Among Wild Men. Is that what it's called?
Yep,
I'm going to
that's
save
the one.
that for my plane trip out to.
Oh yeah, that'd be good to watch.
Yeah, flying from Chicago to Portland, so it's kind of about 4 hours. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I don't know if you see a Bigfoot. I mean, God, it's got to be like winning the lottery to some people.
It would be to me.
What do you think you would do if you saw one?
Oh my God, I don't even know. I'd probably freeze first of all.
You'd have to get a hold of yourself real quick and understand what you're looking at.
Yeah.
You'd have to say, okay, yes.
Yeah, you'd have to.
I believe, and now I believe I'm seeing one right now. Grab my camera, grab my phone. Let's get this recorded.
Have to be quick because they're fast too.
Yeah.
So.
Or a lot of people have had, encounters where it's a longer encounter than people want to have,
Right. Yeah.
So you never know.
I don't know. Would you try and talk to it? I think I probably would.
I would say I would yell at it. I would say, "Hey."
I don't know that I'd yell. I think that would be a bad course of action.
I've heard people.
Although at that point your adrenaline would be pumping so much you probably couldn't help but yell.
I don't know what you'd be doing. pissing your pants.
That would probably definitely be the second thing I would do.
Hope there wouldn't be a third thing. You don't want that, right?
Yeah, no, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I've heard. Okay, I'm gonna go talk about another episode. I heard hunter in a deer stand. Bigfoot walks up on him and staring at him, and he goes, "I just raised my hand, like I pledge allegiance, kind of thing." And he said the Bigfoot looked at him and did the same thing, mocked him, and then put his hand down. And eventually walked away.
See what? Why wouldn't you talk to him?
I mean, yeah,
I would try and talk to him. I think they can understand us.
I don't know.
I really do
understand us.
I think they can. I really think they can.
Maybe
they may not every word, but I think they can. They've been around long enough.
Well, there's stories of people that have been feeding them on farms, leaving trapping animals for these things. I mean, you just don't know. You just don't know what's happened in the past. You only know what's been recorded or what's possible. But anything's possible.
God, some of the natives considered them like spirits, like holy almost.
Right.
So
you have that. You have the Nephilim theory. You have a lot of different theories. You have the interdimensional theory, the alien theory. But all in all, this is a living, breathing creature at some time and form.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, if this thing can do other things and has supernatural powers like cloaking or interdimensional travel, okay, fine. I don't want to get into that per se.
We will get into that eventually.
Right now, yeah. But this is actual. People are seeing something. Why would so many people describe seeing this? So in my mind, there's something out there, and it's very possible that it could be a descendant of a past.
It's more than coincidence that thousands of people are seeing the same thing, almost identically the same thing. Mm-hmm. That many people aren't going to make that up.
No. No. I mean, you and I could go out and say, "Hey, I'm going to pay you $20 if you come on and make some story up about this," but we're not going to do that. And
no.
And my God, is that what people are really trying to do? Is anyone making money on Bigfoot videos? No, I don't think so. I mean, if they're trying to get them to go viral, that's one thing, right? That's one thing. I see that.
Right,
I get
you're
that.
not getting rich off that.
No. And I don't think there's a ton of new videos on YouTube or whatever that are, I mean, I've looked at a lot of them. Trust me. I'm sure you have too.
Oh yeah.
But there's not a ton on there that, it's like people are,
that are really good enough. I mean, some of the best ones I saw in that documentary that we just watched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the clearest one you're going to get is the Patterson film. That's it, unfortunately. But that's what gets me too, Brian, is back in the day, okay, if Bigfoot's real, there had to be less Bigfoot in 1967 than there are today. Considerably less, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
For us to film that creature back then with 18 millimeter or whatever it was, film, that clear and that nice. And then today, with what we have for technology, not being able to get a clear video of this guy.
Yeah.
Even something close or comparable that says, okay, show me something walking closer up. Show me something where somebody got something. With all these guys out there searching now, even more and more and more, and all these enthusiasts and all these, adventurers out there looking for Bigfoot with cameras and all these high tech, why are we not getting more clear videos and shots of this thing?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, they get clearer pictures off of Mars.
Yeah, absolutely. We can find shit on Mars, but we can't find Bigfoot.
So crazy. That also, well, that's another one of my theories, my conspiracy theories, but
go ahead.
That ties into the moon landing. There's more computing power in this phone in my hand right now than there was on that damn rocket, and they made it to the moon and we can't get back there now. Come on.
Yeah, I always wondered about that. I don't necessarily.
We should be making puddle jumps to the moon right now.
Yeah, if we went to the moon, then why did we stop going?
Exactly.
I mean, it's a planet it might be a dead planet. I don't know what you consider the moon.
The moon.
We'd be going there doing all kinds of stuff, would we not?
Yes, I'm saying we'd be doing little puddle jumps to the moon every week.
I mean, we have the space station though, so I mean, you can't argue that.
That's not my point. The point is, we have the technology
right
now more than we did in the 60s.
Yes.
Same thing with cameras.
Yeah, you're right. That is a good point.
That was my point. Same thing with cameras.
And I mean, yeah, the people that see it are the ones that don't either believe or that aren't expecting it, and then just don't have time to pull the camera out because it happened so fast, I guess. So,
right.
I don't know. These things are crazy. I mean, they talk about.
Let's hope you have better luck on your trip.
Well, yeah. I'm not counting on it, but I'd like to see a footprint.
Oh man, if you see something, I'm going to be so pissed.
I'll take a picture for you. A structure, maybe.
Be better for me and and our listeners.
Absolutely, I will. Looking for structures, right? Broken tree structures.
Yes, the nests.
The nest, TP looking things, right?
Yep.
Looking for footprints. I'm looking for obviously the Bigfoot himself.
Yep.
I'm smelling for strong odors.
Yep.
Strong, intense odor.
Checking for like tree rubbings or hairs or
right.
Stuff like that.
Listening for tree knocks or whoops or growls.
Make sure you carry a good solid stick with you so you can smack a tree every now and then.
Yep. I'll do some tree knocks for sure.
Yeah.
What else? What are the other signs of Bigfoot? I mean,
that's it really. I mean, the higher up tree rubbings and would be for a bear normally. The broken trees, the uprooted trees that are like bent, and
have you heard
the tree structures that you said?
Have you heard of the uprooted trees in Alaska where you find these trees that are 2 feet in diameter, okay? Up to 2 feet in diameter, pulled out of the ground, broken off at like maybe, I don't know, 15 feet, and shoved in upside down with the roots sticking at the top.
Oh, I haven't heard about that one.
Have you heard of this?
I'm going to have to look that up. That's got me interested now.
Yeah. Uprooted trees, Alaska, or flipped around tree. Something is taking trees, pulling them out of the ground, roots and all, snapping them off at a certain height, and then shoving them in the ground upside down. And they're all in kind of this one, like they see them in these areas thinking they're like maybe kind of a territorial, like, hey, this is my, don't come past this. This is my area kind of thing.
I think that's what that's all about, actually. Like marking territory with those tree structures.
You just never know. I mean, you got to be at the right place at the right time, obviously. You never know. Right. But I think there's people that live in certain areas that have reoccurring incidences with these things and don't really say much about it. They just deal with it or they don't deal with it, you know? In the backwoods and stuff like that, there's got to be... I was looking at the maps today of the areas I was going to try to go to when I'm in Oregon, and there's some people that have... There's some houses in some remote areas that way out there that you can tell people live there, or there's something there. There's a house or a structure there, and you're thinking, I wonder if those people have ever seen anything.
Or heard, anyway.
Or heard. So for some reason, I used to think that Bigfoot was a herbivore. I don't know why I thought that. But apparently they're not herbivores.
No, they're very much like us.
Apparently they can run really fast. They can run on all fours. I heard they can crawl like a spider.
Yep, heard that too.
They look between a man and an ape. Protruding brow line.
Yep.
Huge jawline. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to imagine, but again, why are so many people reporting this?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, these guys out there listening, go on the BFRO and check it out. BFRO, your state. I believe they've been found in every state but Hawaii, honestly. Did you know that?
Hawaii's got their own legends.
What do they have? Do they have Bigfoot legends?
I believe, well, they have something like it, I believe.
Do they?
Let me see.
It's possible. Monkeys are on islands, right? Apes are on islands. That's why they found King Kong. Not Hawaii, but something like that.
Oh, no, they don't have Bigfoot. They have Menehune.
What's that?
Which are a mythological dwarf people in Hawaii, in Hawaiian tradition, who are said to live deep in the forests and hidden valleys of Hawaiian islands.
All right, we're going to do a show on them sometime.
Yeah.
So how many different names? Go ahead.
What the heck? That was stupid.
How many different names are there for Bigfoot? Do you know?
Oh, God. Bigfoot, Sasquatch. No, there's a lot.
Yowie.
Yeti. Yep.
Yeti.
Hell, I think there's like 10 different names just in Asia and in
Booger.
Asia, that area. All
they call them boogers down south, I heard.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard of that? Boogers.
No.
Yeah, the booger man will get you. That's where that came from.
Oh, jeez.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I believe it.
If I'm wrong, audience, go ahead and go on our Instagram at cryptid_creatures and let me know.
Yeah, let us know. Leave us a little message.
Shoot us an email at info@cryptidcreatures.co.
That's right.
Not com, no M.
And I'm going to start working on that Facebook page this week.
Looks like you got some Facebook action going on. I saw that. Mm-hmm. I think, right? Did you? Do you?
I was starting.
Okay. I thought you had tagged me or something on.
Yeah, I'll get that finished up this week.
No worries, man. All good. Post some of those. If you haven't yet, let's post some of those pictures or whatever we got, collection a little bit, a couple things on Instagram for people to see, like the hand thing or the whatever else you got over there. I don't know. Got a couple things
I'll get a couple of those on there this week too.
Right. So we're talking about Bigfoot. Do you know anybody who's ever seen a Bigfoot, or have you ever seen a Bigfoot? You said you thought you saw something one time driving.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah. When I was out in Oregon, actually, but it was such a smoky,
Yeah.
But I didn't really have time to stop and look, so I just kind of looked out of the corner of my eye and
Right.
sure looked like it was there.
What color was it?
But brownish.
Was it by a tree or something, or
Yeah,
bush?
I was standing beside a tree by the side of the road.
Yeah. You saw movement.
Like on the other side, on that road, because I was heading up into La Grande. And there's the road, and then there was a stream between the road and the mountain, and it was like up on the hill by a tree on the other side of that stream.
That is there's been some sightings in that area of Oregon. That mountain pass area. I know what you're talking about.
And those people drive crazy on that road, so I wasn't trying to stop.
Yeah, they do. I can't believe how crazy they do drive on that road. Did you come back and go? You came back the same way, going down the mountain.
Yes. My God. Yeah.
You could get a little scary and hairy right there. But
yeah, those people are nuts.
There's been a lot of sightings there too. Actually, I've read. So.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm not crazy then.
No, you're not crazy. I know a couple people. I know of 3 people that have seen it. I've talked to 2 of them, so we can get them on the show. One gentleman, I won't say names, noticed one in a field, walking across a field around here in our area, believe it or not. Which we've said before.
Really? That's interesting.
We've said before that we're in a prime area because we can drive in any direction within 4 or 5 hours and be in Squatch land, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, we're in the Midwest, but there's been sightings in Michigan, Ohio. There's sightings in Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois, I guess maybe. I don't know.
Probably down south.
Yeah. So we can definitely travel a short distance and be in some areas where we can.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, if anybody hears this and wants us to come inspect some area or something, let us know.
Absolutely. We're not the BFRO. We don't claim to be the BFRO, but we'd love to check something out. If anyone had anything that maybe they want to be contacting the BFRO because they don't want to report what they saw. And they don't want anyone reporting what they saw. That's fine. We won't report it. We won't talk about it if you don't want us to. We'd love to. We'd love to hear your story.
We'll at least keep your name out of it if that's what you'd rather have, because and we said it on the first episode, this is a safe space. We're not here to make fun of everybody or ridicule anybody. We believe we want to hear your stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. We're not going to make fun of you guys. This is to confidentiality between us, and if you want us to share it on the show, we will, and we can be as confidential about it as you want us to be.
Right. So, absolutely.
Definitely. But yeah, I've known.
But we can also make you famous.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can make us famous.
That's right.
So
share it, share like.
Yeah. So, we invite everybody who is into this stuff to come to this page, like our page, or be on our Instagram feed, follow us on Instagram.
Yep.
But yeah, like I was saying, Brian, and we'll wrap the show up here in a few minutes, I guess here.
Yep.
But, I know about 3 people who've seen it. I've talked to 2 of them. I'd like to talk to a 3rd guy, but I think we can get him on the show here.
Man, that'd be great if we could get him on there.
One gentleman is in Oregon, so if he's not willing to come on, I could probably try to interview him while I'm out there, and we can kind of insert that in the next show.
Oh, that'd be even better, yeah.
So we'll see what we can do with that. So,
yep.
Other than that,
if you can get a recorded interview or at least write it down,
yep,
that'd be perfect.
Yep, definitely. I mean, I know his story. I don't want to tell it.
I wouldn't do that without his permission, but
permission and give him the opportunity to tell it too, because he's a pretty cool guy, funny guy too. He'd be a great guy to get on the show and hackle around with. He's pretty funny. So, But he is serious when he tells a story. I know he's serious because every time he tells it, his hair stands up on his arms, and you can tell he's freaked out. And one time he called his dad, like, remember that time I told you to come pick me up, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, because you thought you saw Bigfoot. Yeah. So I believe him. I do believe him. But that's all I got for this episode. Do you have anything else for these guys?
Nope. I believe that's it. Don't forget to check out the Instagram at cryptid_creatures.
Absolutely. And I know we didn't talk into too much detail about any Bigfoot stories or too much. We kind of just overviewed the Bigfoot thing.
We will.
Plenty of episodes to come.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we want to give some variety. So
that's right. Mix it up a little bit.
Exactly.
And hopefully we'll get some responses from this and have some more to talk about.
Right. One more time, info@cryptidcreatures.co if you want to get a hold of us.
Yep. And on Instagram at cryptid_creatures.
Yep. All right, Brian. Have a good one, man. We'll talk to you guys next episode.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.